Welcome everyone to this DBT session. My name is Tian, and I am so happy that you are here watching this right now. It shows how committed you are to learning more about this therapy approach and the skills it has to offer. So thank you so much for showing up. So in this session, our topic is going to be mindfulness. To start, I want you to think about, your experience with mindfulness, what this means to you, and how you have been practicing it so far. So feel free to take a moment to do that and pause if you need to. All right. So now I'm going to introduce what mindfulness is in DBT and why that's important. So in DBT, mindfulness is about living in and being fully aware of the present moment without getting caught up in judgments. So it takes regular practice, but over time, it can change how we relate to our inner experiences. Mindfulness is important because of these main reasons, and these are backed by research. So first of all, mindfulness, it reduces stress and anxiety, and focusing on the present moment calms the mind and relieves worry about the future, or ruminating on the past. It also enhances focus and concentration. By training your mind to pay attention to one thing at a time, you can better focus and avoid distractions. So this helps with things like work, studying, or any task that requires concentration. Another benefit is that mindfulness promotes emotional well-being. So mindfulness teaches you to observe your feelings with curiosity and non-judgment. So this builds self-awareness and also emotional intelligence. A final point I want to bring up is that mindfulness can help with pain management, or other health conditions. So, a study shows that mindfulness helps with reducing chronic pain and may help with managing symptoms of, other health issues. So, as you can see, mindfulness has many benefits, and um, it's a good thing to practice regularly. Now that we know what mindfulness is, I want to introduce different types of mindfulness exercises for you to practice. There are different ways to divide mindfulness activities into categories. To keep things simple, we will separate them into two broad categories. So, internally focused and externally focused exercises. Now, internally focused exercises are those that help you pay attention to internal events more. So these internal events include, your thoughts, your feelings, your physical sensations, urges, and memories. In contrast, externally focused exercises, there are those that help you pay attention to external events more. So these events include things like, what you see around you, the different smells, sounds, people around you, and just anything in your environment. So to determine what works for you best will take some trial and error to figure it out. But in general, a good way to figure out what you need more practice on is to determine whether you are more internally oriented or externally oriented. So for example, if you typically pay attention more to internal events like, again, your thoughts, your feelings, etc., you are more likely going to be internally oriented. In this case, practicing externally focused exercises may benefit you more in balancing your awareness and lowering chances of, exacerbating um, anxiety or other issues related to your um, orientation. Now, using the same reasoning, if you are more externally oriented, so this means you might pay attention more to your surrounding, your environment. Um, if you are more externally oriented, internally focused exercises may benefit you more. So here on the right side, I have listed some common internally focused exercises. As you can see, some common ones include breathing exercises, body scan, and guided meditation. Now, we will not have time to do all these exercises, so I will link them in the resource section for this video. If you feel comfortable with it, though, I want to take a moment to do a short breathing exercise with you. Feel free to move on from this exercise, though, if breathing exercises do not work for you, and feel free to skip to the externally focused exercises in this video. Anyway, so let's start with our breathing exercise. Please get into a comfortable position, feet flat on the ground, and hands resting in your lap or on the arms of your chair. So we will practice breathing by following this video here. During this exercise, remember to focus on your breathing, noticing each inhalation and exhalation without trying to change anything. If thoughts come up, just notice them and gently bring your attention back to your breath. We'll do this for 1 minute. All right, ready? Here we go. Okay, when you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to our virtual room here. How was that brief mindfulness exercise for you? Take some time to reflect on your experience. Are you feeling any differently before and after the exercise? So feel free to pause the video and try to reflect on your experience a little bit. All right. When you're ready, let's move on to some common externally focused exercises. Here on the left, you can see I've listed some typical ones that we use. So we have mindful seeing, we have five senses exercise, and we have mindful eating. So I will link these exercises in the resource section. For this section, let's practice mindful seeing together. So this is a simple exercise, requiring only a window with some kind of a view. So pause the video if you need to find a place at a window where there are sights to be seen outside. Once you find a window, start observing things in the environment. Try avoiding labeling and categorizing what you see outside the window. So instead of thinking like, there's a tree or there's a stop sign, try to notice the colors, patterns, or textures. Pay attention to the movement of the grass or leaves in the breeze. Notice the many different shapes present in the small segment of the world you can see. Try to see the world outside the window from the perspective of someone unfamiliar with these sights. And remember, try to be observant but not critical, and be aware but don't be fixated. If you become distracted, just gently shift your awareness away from those thoughts and focus on a color or shape again. And feel free to pause the video to complete this exercise. You can do this for 5 to 10 minutes and then come back when you are ready. All right. Now that you have completed the exercise, I want you to take some time to reflect on your experience. So, how did you feel to complete this exercise? Have you noticed any changes before and after the exercise? I hope you guys found the exercises helpful. Again, I will link more in the resource um, section for you guys to um, have more things to put in your toolbox. So the last thing I want to touch on today is this concept of wise mind. In DBT, there is a concept known as the wise mind, and this refers to a balanced state of mind that integrates both emotion and reason. So when we're overwhelmed by our emotions, we are in our emotional mind. This is when our strong feelings dictate our uh, perceptions, thoughts, and actions. We may act impulsively or make decisions that we regret later. So, for example, if we have an argument with a friend, we may send an angry text message based on our hurt and frustration in the moment without considering the long-term implications. So, in this situation, we would be in our emotional mind. On the other hand, we have what we call a reasonable mind. Um, this is when we push all of our emotions aside and try to operate based purely on facts, logic, and reason. And this ignores our emotions and gut instincts, which also have value. So it's the other end of the extreme. Now, wise mind is in the middle. We see this as a middle path, and in order to access our wise mind, we need to acknowledge our emotions, but don't let them override the facts. We also engage our logical thinking, but stay connected to our intuition and feelings as well. And wise mind allows us to tap into the wisdom that integrates the head and the heart. So, in the example of having an argument with a friend, wise mind would mean recognizing that we are upset, but not sending an attacking message. We would tap into our self-awareness and consider long-term impacts and perhaps, express feelings in a constructive manner. With Wise Mind, we make balanced choices aligned with our deeper well-being. So, how do we access this wise mind? Well, in DBT, our wise mind is cultivated through mindfulness practices. So this is where mindfulness, um, you know, comes into play. Essentially, by cultivating present non-judgmental awareness, mindfulness creates psychological space and clarity for our wise mind to be revealed. Um, so, we are able to take a step back from emotional or intellectual extremes and open the balancing, centered parts of ourselves. All right. I know that is a lot of concepts that may be new to you. So thank you so much for listening today and watching this video. I really appreciate you again for showing up, and I hope you learned something today. Um, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you, and bye.